broadcast team, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Just a short time ago, these Philly fans in full roar as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. Pyrotechnics ablaze. They're set to go as their Eagles will match up with the Indianapolis Colts. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. It's an early test here after 2 losses to start the season, and a game they probably really need.
Obviously, no way do they want to get to 0-3. Not many teams make the playoffs with that kind of a start.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Colts, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
It's the first weekend of autumn, and the NFL is in full swing as off we go on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. Well, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by their third-year quarterback calling the shots under center. It'll be Carson Wentz.
And I saw that he had an interesting quote in the research packet that we had after last week's game. It's all on me now. I've got to lead my team and find a way for us to win a game. 0-2, but they're at home. I guess he's going to try and find a way to get the home crowd involved early.
Now it's the Boise State alone, Jay Ajayi. And they're able to get this one across the 35. There are the numbers last week for Jay Ajayi. 13 carries, 97 yards.
I can't remember the last time we did a game and the coach didn't talk about establishing the run first. But they've lost 2 straight games, so they still want to do that. But they've got to have some contingencies, some other options. Expect them maybe to throw it a little bit to open up things and maybe run it a little bit more later in the game.
Now it's the all-purpose back. This is Darren Sproles. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. Only a gain of a couple there. That leaves him needing about 7 here on 3rd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And this is going to be incomplete.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their now healthy quarterback at 29 years of age in his 7th season out of Stanford, Andrew Luck.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense and hopefully springs a receiver or 2 free.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
Throwing on 3rd down. Love. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tuck rule that they can fall back on anymore.
He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Trey Boston. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Doyle. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. A look at the numbers for Doyle from a week ago. 4 catches, 63 yards.
Better tighten up the coverage if you expect to slow this guy down, because if he gets going, he'll eat you up.
They'll run with Mack. And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. Timmy Jernigan, the Florida State man, in on the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They keep it on the ground. Mack again. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting third and about 4 to go. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
From the gun on third down, Luck looking deep here for Ebron. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Ronald Darby that time, the one who got a hand in and knocked it free. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football. I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
They run again with a J. And now where are they going to mark him here? Well, they say he did get back to the 1-yard line, but that could have easily been 2 points the other way. He was a second-round pick. Many scouts thought he could have gone higher than that.
And I was one of them. Even though I don't scout for any particular team, I had a first-round grade on him. And frankly, I'm surprised he lasted to the second round. They got a steal with this player.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago. Really, it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
So you have to give a lot of...
Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety.
Holding offense.
That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold him.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward.
Automatic first down.
Luck and the Colts come up now 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. On first down, it's Luck. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. They'll get 4 there out of the screen, and it's 2nd down.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short gain.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Off of play action. Luck. Eagle pressure. Too much this time. Down he goes. Fletcher Cox in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
They chalked that one up as a gain of 34 on 3rd down.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
A first update now out of Jacksonville. And the Jags, they're out to an early lead there. D.D. Westbrook, the main target thus far in that ball game. So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Now the 4th-year man from Texas A&M, Christine Michael. And he'll be taken down at the 33, a pickup of about 4. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
They go to Michael again, and that play went nowhere. Losing yardage, it'll be back at the 36. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
Now on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete. 4th down now looming after Philly's defense stands tall in coverage. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice. An ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this score will stay right where it is.
I tell you, it's not easy kicking field goals in the best of conditions. Yet in a downpour like we're in right now, it makes it that much harder. And sure enough, they can't convert here.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 43. They'll start out on the ground with Sproles. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. Only one score in the first quarter, and it came from the defense. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. Again, they'll run it. Again, it's Sproles. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. A 1st down for the Eagles. Wentz fighting the former Raven Wallace.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Now it's Ajayi. Oh, he's got some breathing room. Ajayi's gonna go. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Ajayi, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Eagles are able to cash it in for 6. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
So that drive, 4 plays. And it's capped off by a touchdown run by Ajayi. On the return is Ferguson. Take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. We focus our attention now on T.Y. Hilton as he gets ready to head back onto the field. A chance maybe here for them to get him more involved. They're down here on the scoreboard, and he's been very quiet.
And the silence has been deafening for his team. They don't need that at all. They need fireworks. They need explosive plays. They need him touching the football in any way possible. Maybe go to some jet sweeps. Anything to get him going.
Yeah, something to get him the ball. We'll see if they can do it. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. Now a nice play defensively on 1st down as this is knocked away and incomplete. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. On 2nd and 10, Locke forced out to his left. And so now a hit, and Locke lost the football. It's out.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And he finds Daniels. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another 1st down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now a handoff. It's Christian Michael. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. They run again with Michael, and he stopped immediately there. The Pro Bowler Fletcher Cox there to get him down.
And that's called winning at the point of attack, isn't it? Right there at the line of scrimmage. I know he's a little bummed out now. He doesn't get credit for a tackle for a loss, but no gain. His guys will take that.
And speaking of winning, to be as cheesy as we can, he was the winner of the NFC Defensive Player of the Week award from last week, so he's really stringing together some good football.
So not only did he get a gold star, he might have gotten a gold watch too, huh?
The Colts on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. A shotgun snap for Locke. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And a shot taken on third down, unsuccessful. Fourth down now.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he's on to punt for Indianapolis. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Eagles will have it, taking over first and 10. Carson Wentz, along with his offense, heading back out there for their next possession. He has not had the start to this game that he envisions here in the second quarter. He's struggling a little bit. But, hey, they're in the lead right now. So kind of what's going on in his head, do you think, Charles?
I think that's what he has to keep in mind. Winning the ball game is not going the way he wants in terms of his own play. Oh, yeah, that's right, winning the ball game. So don't press. Don't try and do things outside of what's going on right now. Don't try to increase your game or get yourself right. Just make sure you continue to lead your ball club and keep them moving in the right direction.
Yeah, they've got that lead so far. One interception for him, no touchdown passes. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. Big Al Woods there to make the tackle.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Now Wentz on third down. Looking deep for his tight end, Ertz. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up fourth down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? It creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Here's Brad Nortman now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? Look, and the Colts come up now first and 10 at the 20. A run by Mack to start the drive. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
On second down, here's Locke. Over the middle, complete. It's Doyle. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
And incomplete here on third down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
47-yard punt, a return of 4. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Alshon Jeffrey working his way back out there now to help lead this offense. Second quarter, a guy like him, no catches, so that's the surprising part, but they're winning, so maybe they've been able to do some other things effectively, I guess.
And they found other ways, haven't they? Because the receivers will tell you, offense needs to run through us, but they're managing to get it done in this ball game without having to actually do that. I wouldn't expect them to stay silent for the rest of the game, though.
Yeah, you got to think that his first catch is coming at some point. And once again, they go with Sproles. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. A 6-yard pickup on the ground that time, and that'll make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Wentz. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Oh, you can see and feel the disappointment on that one because you saw some guys on the sidelines jumping up going, oh, no. Looked like they had that one set up well on 3rd down, but you got to give yourself time to get rid of the football.
Nortman on to kick as he sends it away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. And we take some time to spotlight T.Y. Hilton now. Hasn't had his best day to this point here in the second quarter. They're losing. You got to think, though, that also means that maybe the defense doing a good job on him. There's two sides to that coin.
I would agree, so you have to give them credit, but that means you've got to find a way to beat that defense and make sure one of your top playmakers touches the football and has an impact on the game. Change formations, change where he lines up, put him in motion, anything possible to shake him free. Maybe that greater impact comes here on this drive. His throw incomplete. T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here. And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up, and it's just trying to play it through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there. Here's line. It's complete to Grant. And they're able to get this one across the 35. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down. That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then break. And that's caught inside the 30.
Holding, offense.
Now that's one they hate.
Still
the ball's
first down.
got to come all the way back. So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty. Lock. And incomplete on the deep ball. Well, sometimes those cliches really come true, don't they? When they talk about it takes all 11 to play good defense. We've seen that in this ball game. I think the secondary has to be singled out, though. They are in the presence of every receiver whenever the ball's thrown, and this one they help force another incompletion. Back to throw, Love. He's got a man, complete. And he takes this one all the way across midfield into enemy territory down to the 40-yard line. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Now Brissett, the backup, his first throw. And his first throw since coming in is incomplete. He was looking for Jack Doyle that time. And it's second down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. On second down, Brissett again. He'll rifle this one deep right side. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. Third down.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Into the air once more. It's Brissett. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. Now after the fumble recovery, it's Wentz. Jeffrey with a catch left side. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Alshon Jeffrey in the final seconds of the first half. And the Eagles had 6 to their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squid kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. On the return, it's Josh Ferguson. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. They'll throw now on the final play. Escape, and he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But
this is
do that?
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
Now, I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. Now Mack. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. He lost 4 there, and it's third down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
It's 3rd and long for Brissett. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Nigel Bradham. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Now a play fake here on 1st down.
And that's the way to distinguish yourself, Tyquan Lewis, because at Ohio State, it was tough to do. Plenty of guys just like him who could get after the quarterback. But 2016, he was the Big Ten Defensive Lineman of the Year. He knows how to get upfield and create a little bit of havoc in the pocket.
They run with Johnny. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets them back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. Now we'll get a stoppage here as it appears we've got an Eagle slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. The Eagles on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. Throwing is Wentz. And that is incomplete.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
Here's Brad Nortman now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. And the Colts getting ready to go. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to
nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And that will set him up in excellent shape. 1st and goal at the 9-yard line.
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys who have to touch the ball and carry it, they're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our heads. I know that.
Yeah, maybe we won't fumble our play sheets here as we just saw the fumble happen on the field.
No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Partner, when it's a goal-to-go situation, if you're on the field on defense, you have to know that you may be called on to make a tackle at any time. Here, the cornerback does exactly that. Plays the run really well and makes a big play.
He'll get it up the middle. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
They do get 8 out of the pitch and catch. However, it's 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the 1st down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the 2nd half. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board, ended up settling for 3.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And they'll start in a hole here as he's brought down at the 11-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Looking deep for Hilton. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
The frustration is definitely setting in because they've thrown it to him over and over, unable to come up with a catch thus far.
I think he knew he would have his challenges against his secondary. I don't think he saw a goose egg at this point in the game. The Colts on third down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is 3rd and 10. Out of the gun, Brissett. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Nothing open downfield, and he had to get that one out in a hurry because he just knew he was about to take a big shot. Probably couldn't get his legs into the throw. Became an all-arm throw, trying to check it down to his running back. Incomplete.
Now a hit and a loose football.
And that's what friends are for.
As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turned it over there. That's a big momentum changer and put your defense in a bad spot.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Throwing on first is Wentz. It's brought in by Jeffrey. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it.
And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line. Jabal Sheard in there to get him for a loss of 5.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. The Eagles on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 7. Working from the gun, Wentz. And Jeffrey's got it. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Alshon Jeffrey, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Eagles add on to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors. But that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Elliott good on the extra point, and the lead opens up now to 22 points. Just a 4-play drive that time. The result, Philadelphia in the end zone. Elliott now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base,
pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Nigel Bradham in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Play action now. Brissett. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Grant. And he's brought down after a good gain. A good pickup there, a 22.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
From the midfield strike, they look to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, he looked like he was favoring something in the left leg. Appears to be fine now, but you're right. That O-line, they got to protect him. He's going to fire this thing deep right sideline. Ronald Darby that time, the one who got a hand in and knocked it free. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. A call and luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you retain possession, that's all you're looking for.
Kick catch interference. Kicking team.
Well, that was pretty obvious. He didn't let him catch it.
Agreed, and what's hard is you make that long run downfield to try and cover it, but you got to locate the football as well.
A lack of discipline defensively on 4th down, and now that leads to a 1st and 10. This is Clement. And he'll bring this one inside the 35. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On 2nd down, here's Wentz. It's complete, left side to Aguilar. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. First target, first catch, and a 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. This will be caught just inside the 10. And here he'll get it down to the 7. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Shotgun now for Wentz. Shakes off the... But now he's swallowed up and taken down.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. They'll give it to him up the middle. And now running right through it. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. A good run there, 9 yards, but it still leaves him with work to do on 3rd and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
The Eagles on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and goal. From the gun, it's Wentz. And this is caught. Touchdown, Philadelphia. 3 touchdown passes now for Carson Wentz. And the Eagles add 6 to their lead. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. And all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
On the return is Ferguson. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Starting the drive with a give to Mack. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Brissett now on 2nd down. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Fletcher Cox in there to get him. And that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Now Sproles. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And that will come the offense as they take over. And out now come the Eagles. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
A run is coming. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
They'll run again with Clement, and he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. There to stop him was Darius Leonard.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he connects with Ertz. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. An Eagle first down there. Wentz to Ertz, and the names that end in TZ. I don't want to make a story where there's not one, but he threw the 3 interceptions last week. Looked a little uncomfortable. He looks much more comfortable today.
Yeah, just one pick so far, and his team leads. So now they can play complementary football, meaning if he takes care of the ball and his offense, if they're humming along, the defense doesn't have to be out there as long. He's taking care of his guys on the other side of the ball.
They're enjoying a fourth-quarter advantage. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They'll run it now out of the gun. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping the important run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be. But we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
That's on target, but it's no good. He had it on line, but it came up just shy of the crossbar. And this score will stay right where it is. So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon, so apparently neither guy is immune.
Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical
skeptical
about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for Philadelphia, they're into the win column now as they move to 1.